Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to show you a demonstration on how to put on the ihram. Before putting on the ihram for men, we have to take a few things into consideration. The first thing you want to make sure is that when you put on the ihram, to ensure that your awrah, your satar or your private area is covered at all times. That means from the belly button to the knees or below and above the belly button, if possible. Number one. The second thing is to ensure that when you put on the ihram, you've secured it well, either by use of a knot or by folding it a few times or by putting a belt around it, and that will help to secure it too. The third thing is that the material which we use for ihram, that we make sure that it's comfortable and it's adequate for the time of the year that you will be going for Hajj or Umrah. For example, when you go Hajj in the summer months and it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it tends to get very hot and all the moisture will be wicking from your body into the cloth, and if it's a thick cloth, it will remain moist and it will be very hot and very uncomfortable. So choosing something which would be more reasonable. So for example, you can find something like this, which you see is not very thick. You can find thinner than this, and there's also thicker than this. And the last point I'd like to mention is ensuring that you have an extra pair of ihram clothes, like 2 extra sheets, so that if you need to take a shower, it gets dirty, or for whatever reason you'd like to change it, you always have an extra set to change into while you have this one washed. So inshallah, to begin, we start with the lower garment. The lower garment is what we call the izar, and the upper garment which we call the rida. We begin by putting on the lower garment. So one way, and the most simplest way, you start from folding over the right. So you hold the right hand out with the piece of cloth and you pull it towards the left. Once you do that, you go all the way with the left, and you can also fold it forward if you want, or you can fold it this way. If you fold it this way, the movement will be restricted because it doesn't allow for much movement. But if you fold it like that, that will help to make it more easy for you to move around. So that's one way of doing it. Again, so you fold it up to here, moving it here, and then folding it back over like that. That's the first way. And then once you do that, to secure it, you have to fold it at the front, then around the sides and the back. Make sure you tuck your tummy in beforehand, before doing this, so that once your tummy comes back out, it will hold it in place. The second way is, instead of taking this all the way, take it up to here and put a small fold in it, like this, like that. You fold it over, and then you put this side over, and you can tuck it in. So from outside it's completely concealed, inside you have a fold, and now it's pretty easy to walk around in. The third way, and I actually prefer this, holding both pieces out to your left, holding it up, making sure that it starts up, so when you fold it, it's still above your belly button or navel. And then you can fold it. You hold 2 sides together, push this in, fold it out. Again, it gives you some more movement, and if you want, you can fold it up at the front. You can have a bigger ihram than this too. Now you can fold it in the front, then go around the sides and the back, and then one more. Like that. So when you walk, you can walk easily. If you have to put a belt on, a belt for security purposes and to safeguard your goods and protect your goods, your money, passport, etc., is allowed, no problem. If you do it just to hold up the ihram, it is disliked. But if you do it for the reasons of security, then it is completely fine. Again, just fold it over, and that should hold in place, shouldn't go anywhere, inshallah. So there's also a tubular ihram, which is completely connected all the way around, and it's like a lungi. You can put yourself in there and then again flap around and then flap one way, and then you can. I don't have one of those with me today to demonstrate. Moving on to the upper piece, which we call the rida. We start by putting it around us. So for example, it is better to have the upper part of the body also covered, except in the first 3 circuits of tawaf. So for example, one way of doing it, especially in salah, would be if you do it equally on both sides, then you put that side over, or you do it like that, equally, and then you fold this side over. How that will help you is that when in salah you're going to ruku, then it's not going to fall off. If you have too much on one side, like this, it may fall off. It's not going to be as balanced, and you'll find that it's going to fall off. So that's one way of doing it. Well, I've showed you 2 ways of doing it. And then in tawaf, it will be just like that. You leave your right shoulder exposed, and then you do your first 3 circuits in tawaf. So hopefully I've demonstrated to you today how to put on the ihram, and hopefully this is something for all of us to benefit from, inshallah. Jazakumullah.